On April 27, 2007, a small country in northern Europe named Estonia suddenly found itself completely paralyzed. Government websites were down, banks frozen, and even newspapers and public utilities went dark. Good heavens, what happened? This isn't a science fiction story. This was the beginning of a real war, but not with tanks and cannons. It was a cyber war. Follow along to know the whole story. The story began with a dispute between Estonia and Russia, the cause of which was a project to relocate a Soviet-era bronze statue. Its statue was called the Monument of the Liberators, and it was located in the Estonian capital, Tallinn. The relationship between Estonia and Russia has a history of long conflict, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Estonians saw the Russians as occupiers of their country for half a century, not as liberators from the Nazis. The decision to move the statue sparked great anger among Russians, who considered it an insult to them and their sacrifices. Russian-language media began inciting people to take to the streets. These protests escalated and turned into riots and violence due to false reports claiming the government would destroy the statue and adjacent Soviet military graves. This led to injuries, deaths, and arrests. Following these events, Estonia was subjected to a series of cyberattacks that lasted for 3 weeks. These attacks completely paralyzed many governmental and semi-governmental websites. Public utilities, newspapers, banks, and even mobile operators and emergency services. Imagine a country whose entire digital life is paralyzed like this. Estonia formally accused Russia of responsibility for these attacks, considering them acts of revenge, but Russia denied it. Estonia sought help from NATO, as it is a member. Article 5 of the NATO treaty states that members will defend each other, even if the attack is electronic. But NATO refused to intervene because Article 5 is only activated if the attack results in significant loss of life, equivalent to a traditional military attack. And these cyber attacks, despite their significant damage, did not reach this level. An Estonian official said at the time that the evidence indicated the attack was orchestrated by the Russian Kremlin. And then other gangs joined in. This blow was a huge wake-up call, not just for Estonia, but for the whole world. It showed that cyber attacks could paralyze states and threaten their national security, even their existence. It also revealed that the cyber risks to the global financial system were greatly underestimated. Conclusion: these attacks stopped after 3 weeks, but the real story didn't end there. Estonia faced 2 choices: either withdraw into itself or rise and recover. And here's the real lesson. Estonia chose the harder but more successful path. Instead of dwelling on the crisis and losses and the loss of confidence, Estonia stood back up and faced the challenge. It prepared a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy and began building a strong and advanced system for detecting attacks and warning responsible parties. They launched large awareness campaigns, and most importantly, they established the Cyber Defense League, which allows any Estonian citizen to volunteer some of their time to support cybersecurity programs. This move transformed the entire Estonian people into a population interested and enthusiastic about information security and cyber warfare. As a result of these efforts, Estonia developed a very strong digital infrastructure, created a truly fully digital government, and became a global leader in this field. It even launched its unique e-residency service in 2014. The disaster that everyone thought would end it became an opportunity for it to develop and advance, to the extent that in September 2018, it topped international cybersecurity rankings without competition, becoming a haven for researchers and experts in this field. The wisdom from the story: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Crises and disasters, if you know how to deal with them correctly, don't weaken you. On the contrary, they give you greater awareness and a higher capacity to face future challenges. The advice for us: Estonia showed us that cybersecurity is not a luxury. It is an absolute necessity to protect our countries, institutions, and our digital lives, which have become an essential part of everything. It's not enough to be consumers of technology. We must invest in cybersecurity, build our capabilities, raise awareness, and cooperate with each other. We must learn from Estonia and be prepared to protect ourselves in the digital arena, because threats exist and are evolving. They can come at any moment from anywhere in any form, even if the reason is something as simple as moving a statue. I hope you liked the story and benefited from it. If you have any other questions, I am ready.